quickly. Remember, I was just about to say what market is expecting, but remember what happened last month. We had this expectation of an 8.1 million drawdown in the NFP number, and it was a massive bounce. We had this a gain of over 2.5 million new jobs in the US. Unemployment rate came down to 12 and a bit percent. It was expected to ratchet up over 20%. It never happened. April looks like the bottom of the market, the nadir as far as the data is concerned. So we'll see what comes. We've got about 5 or so minutes before it comes up. So last time we had this big shock, positive shock to the upside, and we had the euro moved about 50 pips and the yen moved about 50 pips. Dollar improved, the yield firmed, and we had a massive jump in equity markets, and the equity markets have continued to rally throughout all of June, and we've had some phenomenal numbers for the end of June, end of the second quarter. So let's just bring in some charts, get rid of my, oops, a minute, what we've done there. So there we go. So this is the euro, the 1 hour chart. It's been ticking up all morning. Euro here into 113 this morning. Zoom up a wee bit. Let's scroll down the time frame. So let's have a look at this 5 minute move here. So 5 minute charts for the euro. So it's been ticking up. A quick scan through them. Dollar, pound has also been ticking up all morning, so we've had a weaker, softer dollar all day today. Yen has also been a tad weaker, but dollar yen itself is moving down under the 107.50 zone. Sterling had attacked 125, and it's moved and held over that this morning. Good afternoon, everyone. Hope you're well. Any questions? Please let me know. What we're going to go on. Aussie, where are we? Aussie's down here. There's a daily chart on the Aussie there. Let's zoom in. There's Aussie's also been accruing against the dollar today. So generally, we've got the same sort of story. We've got this weaker story against the yen and the dollar in particular. As far as the commodities are concerned, oil, I've looked at this for a while. Oil is back and testing its $40 nemesis. It hasn't been able to hold over $40 on the daily time frame here. You see this $40 line here. Hasn't been able to hold that at any auto close of the daily chart. So we've dipped down into the end of June. We're having another go at the moment. So again, see how we go. But that's really riding the back of the equity markets, to be honest, and this general positive vibe. Let's say the expectations for NFP in 5 minutes is around this 2.5 million, 3 million. 3 million is the median, 2.5 million is the consensus, really. So there's quite a big spread in the numbers. But again, remember, as I said at the beginning here, a huge surprise last month. Will we get this again this month? Possibly. But if we look at the week when the Bureau of Labour Statistics Bureau actually does their survey. This panic we've had in the last couple of weeks about the spike in the virus over the last week or so in the southern states, in Texas and Florida and parts of Arizona, that hadn't actually been accounted for. So it may be airing to the upside and on the positive side. So we'll see how we go. So good afternoon, everybody. There's lots of you in here today. Gold, somebody's asking about at the moment. Gold, who's asking about gold? That was EM. It's asking about gold. Gold again, it's moved down. That's the daily chart. Let's go to the 1 hour chart. It's moved down quite significantly today off this 1789 high yesterday. We moved down into 1770 this morning, and here we are under 1770 at the moment. We're at 1760. So moved down sideways through the European session. Then it's moved down again at the moment ahead of NFP. So. Generally, obviously, it's very well bid here. The gold price having broken out of this 1745 top channel here towards the end of June. It's rallied very significantly. Here we are. These are 8-year highs up here at 1789, and beyond that takes us to obviously 1800 and possibly 1925. If we zoom this into, I don't know, I'll show you this now. The monthly chart. Before we're going to get into 5 minutes, but this is the monthly chart for gold, and this takes us all the way back here to 2012 and these 2011 highs up here at 1825 when the month closed, but we did spike in that month all the way above 1900. That was the summer of 2011. So strong monthly rally here on the gold market, and that continues to be the case. But more importantly, in our daily time frame here, we're moving down under 1770 at the moment for the gold market. Parker's saying dollar yen sell, may well be. We'll see how that goes. Again, with all approaches, guys, it's all to do with the particular strategy you're following. Here at the time frame, here on the 1 hour time frame, Parker, the market, the gold market is the yen market is just sliding sideways, as you might expect ahead of NFP. Gilberto saying we can't see a weak dollar today. Well, it's been weak so far today, really, Gilberto, my friend. It's moving down, but we'll see what happens. The pound's up here. Where's my euro chart? Euro's been ticking up. Move down here. 1 hour chart has been moving up today. So we'll see how all of this goes, and we'll get to what we want to look at as we go through. Sell, what do you think? Oh, again, it's all about people say, what do I think about selling or buying? It's all about what time frame you're trading. But here, the gold market, we just had a look. Today, it's been relatively weak here in this 1 hour time frame. 30-minute time frame will look even weaker. The daily time frame, on the other hand, remains very well bid. It's over the 1765 and it's holding up. But today, it's been relatively weak, giving up some gains from earlier in the week, not unexpectedly coming off these all-time highs. Yang, my friend. Nasdaq indices in general. Nasdaq again have been very well held up. I've got Nasdaq here. We had a big move yesterday in Amazon. Amazon got an upgrade yesterday from Concordia. Upgraded their top-end expectations to 3,300 for Amazon. I haven't actually got Amazon down here, or I can't find a US 100 here. It should be here. Not to see. But ticking to the upside. What else is going on? Let's have a look, see if the data's come out, see what we've got. Right, so I'm sure you've all probably got this as well. We have earnings jumping. Actually, let's start at the top. So participation rate. So the headline has come in at 4.8 million. So it's a big beat on expectations. Consensus was this 2.5 million to 3 million. It's coming at 4.8 million. Last time has also actually been revised up. So last month's been revised up to 2.7 million from 2.5 million. Wages, anything else that jumps up? Earnings holding up over 5%. I was expected to dip down a bit more, but it's come down to 5% from 6.6%. The unemployment rate has dipped again. That's 13.3% last time. This time it's coming at 11.1%. So that's gone down quite significantly. Participation rate has gone up. That's not a surprise given this rolling out of the relaxation. When, again, remember the week when this poll was taken. So it's better than expected. So the risk has been to the upside, and that was what many the participants were feeling, which is why the median moved up to 3 million from 2.5 million. On the other side, we've also got the unemployment weekly claims as well, the new claims. The initial jobs claims, yet again, has come in back over 1.5 million. So the weekly jobs claims, which normally come out on a Thursday at this time, has come in I'm looking at the wrong number there, 1.4 million. So it's come in under 1.5 million for the first time in probably the best part of 15 weeks. So we're still over 1 million. We've got this sort of strange break of things. We've got unemployment weekly claims still at 1.5 million this week. We've got the monthly NFP number coming in at coming in. Where am I? Where am I? It's here. Coming in. What have we done? There we are. The unemployment number, initial claims number coming in over 1.4 million, but the non-farm payroll, the new jobs coming in at 4.8 million, much higher than expected. So they've captured this still positive surge that was going on. So this recent hiccup we've had in the last couple of weeks, or last week in particular, in Texas, Florida, and Arizona, which impacts 59 million people. There's an awful lot of people in these three key states. So it might not be all good news, is what I'm trying to get to, basically. And the unemployment claims, again, finally comes under 1.5 million, but yet again, it's worse than expected. The expectations were 1.3 million, and it's coming at 20.27 million. So for as many weeks as I can remember now, it must be the best part of 20 weeks, the weekly unemployment number has been worse than expected. And that is what markets don't like, when things miss expectations. So let's have a look how all of that news has been interpreted by the markets. The euro here continues its sort of daily. This is the 1 hour time frame. So let's have a look how we moved the euro. So the euro here has moved up to the upside. So again, it's a weaker dollar on this. So euro's spiking there to 112.90. Out the top of this is sort of sideways action beforehand. So that's ticking to the upside here on this 5 minute short-term chart. Sterling, I would guess, will hold this break of 125, and indeed it continues to move up here. If we drill this down into the 5 minute chart again. So another choppy one, but again, one that's moving up. Moved down beforehand, the news is broke, it's held there. That's a long position there on this short-term break, moving up here on the 5 minute. Yen, I would guess it continues to pressure, but interestingly, the dollar's moving up here against the yen. Let's have a look at the 5 minute time frame. So again, dollar yen sideways, but again, there we've got a positive dollar against the Japanese yen here. So it's a weaker yen as overrun things. So there we go. And moving down, Australian dollar, it's still holding its bid, so it's the weaker yen is the story that we're seeing at the moment. So let's have a look at some of these questions. Wow, lots coming in. I've lost all track of where we are. So let's have a look. Just before, the last one was Abby asking about the DAX. So let's have a look at the DAX. Again, Abby, I don't know what time frame you're interested in, but the DAX here on this is the 1 hour time frame, has been tracking higher all day, and it's continuing to push high here. We're at 12.50.38. So here on this crossing strategy here on this 1 hour time frame, that would have having gone short here. When was that? That was yesterday. It then reversed here. When was that? That was yesterday afternoon. Now it's been long since yesterday afternoon. Basically, we've been over this 5 and 9 moving average here on the 1 hour time frame. Continues to track to the north. ATR is about what's that? 80 points here on the DAX on the 1 hour time frame, and moving up the daily. Big strong, well, flat day yesterday, but strong day today and moving up. So that's a DAX moving to the upside on the 1 hour time frame. Lots of questions. Sterling, says Victor and others. Again, Sterling looks relatively well bid. Again, please put in the time frames you're interested in trading on. But overall, Sterling is to the upside, really. We've had a strong week so far. Weakish Monday, but Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, strong sterling bounce here for the cable rate. The 4 hour time frame, interestingly, it looked like it had been moving down, but certainly had been moving down and broken this channel in the last couple of days. See how we've been trending lower here. This down channel that the sterling was in, breached it yesterday, and it's followed through quite aggressively today as well. So it's out of that channel now, moving up and breached the key psychological 125. This is the another daily trend line here at 124.75, which it broke, and now we're through 125. 125 for sterling is very, very one of those long-term fundamental sort of numbers. So we're up, and that's off and running. Next one, Nana's asking about the pound against the Swissy. Let's have a look. I don't think I certainly haven't got that here. I'll just swap the profiles. Just bear with me a second. Pound Swissy here on the daily had been moving down. Looks like it's turned around. It's still short there on that daily time frame. Now I don't know what time frame you're trading it on, but we've had it again. Pound's had a relatively strong week, and just like that cable chart here, this is the daily. Let's take this to the 4 hour as well. Zoom in a bit. We've had this downtrend that's been running here on this 4 hour time frame here, pound sterling, pound Swiss here, and again broke out. So the 4 hour time frame broke back over its 20 hour or its 20 period moving average. First attempt was there at the end of the month, 30th on Tuesday. It sort of dipped a wee bit yesterday, but it's continued to move up. So that's moving up 4 hour. 1 hour will be also positive. That's continuing. It's holding up. It's actually would have closed out your long position from down here on the 1 hour this morning, and then that's gone long again in this current hour. Although obviously there's still 20 minutes. That's looking relatively positive on the 1 hour time frame. Pound against sterling to the upside. So sterling's getting a bit across the board there. Now then, lots and lots of questions here. Presley, is Nasdaq going for a sell? Let's have a look. And again, guys, I say this all the time, but make sure you understand the time frame that you're trading, because if you don't, one time frame might be a sell, another one might be a long. There we go. So the Nasdaq daily remains very well bid. As I said yesterday, we had a big rise, 4% plus rise for Amazon yesterday, so the daily's still on the upside. See how the 20 period has held all this way. I think I wrote something about this earlier in the week. We've had a big, strong rally here from April, May and June for the Nasdaq. 1 day here, earlier in the week, we dipped under the key 20-day moving average. The 21 period moving average hasn't been broken. Lots of traders use the 21 EMA, and that still has held all the way. We had a brief breach here. It wasn't a great break, but earlier in the week, the 26th there on Friday when we sold off 2.5%. But Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and now Thursday, 3-4 strong candles so far for the Nasdaq. So the Nasdaq remains bid to the upside. However, I haven't got this on here. What I did identify earlier in the week was a bit of divergence. If I just insert a MACD on here, where's my MACD gone? Well, any old oscillator will do. If I actually channel index, that'll do. 14, you'll see it's a bit more exaggerate there. You can see the divergence here on the CCI as the prices were still going up. So here we'd had some significant down move. I mean, it's broken back up that now, but prices were still moving up. So we had a bit of divergence there on the old CCI and also on the MACD, which is not on here. So we had that dip down that was coming last week, but now we've recovered that, and that's broken that again. So we're still moving up, but has that rolled over? We'll interesting to see. But at the moment, the trend remains to the upside for the Nasdaq. If we drill down the time frames, that's the 1 hour Nasdaq. That still looks very well bid from this morning as well. We had rollover under the 20 period, then we got another move to the north. When was that? That was yesterday afternoon at 4 o'clock. That triggered long again, having tried to dip down from the rollover. So you've been long from then, and you haven't moved out of that. Again, trending that higher, you still stayed above the 20, the 9 and the 5. Nicely aligned, nicely moved up. Nasdaq remains to the upside. So I can't see any particular sell on that, Jackinder, my friend. But we all have our own subjects, don't we? Now then, where did I get to? There's lots and loads of questions in here. USA 100. Next one, Clement's asking about the Aussie Kiwi. Again, another one that's been in a very, very long uptrend. Aussie Kiwi, or had been Aussie Kiwi. Let's zoom that one in. what we're doing. Long uptrend, we've sort of started to move down. 106.25 is a clear support there, which we've just bashed into today, interestingly. So that's moving down, Aussie, down against the Kiwi today, or today in this particular candle. Obviously, it's not over yet, so you can't really make a decision on that. But the 4 hour triggered short. When did that go short? That went short there. Again, 1st of July, 12 o'clock. Didn't look very clever at the time because we'd run into the 200-hour moving average, but we certainly had a lot of volatility in the following hour. So if you've been trailing that down, you might have been stopped out. If you'd had, you would have been stopped out. But the close of the hour was probably sufficient to suggest that was continuing perhaps to move down, and that's just continued to move down yesterday and today. So Aussie Kiwi on the 4 hour chart is very much short. The 1 hour again a bit more. You had a bit more idea there. We dipped down and rallied up, and it's big rejection again, big wick. Rejection of higher prices we see all the time, and it looked relatively positive because the fractal high there was higher than the previous ones, but continues to move down. And really, the break was confirmed break was this one here, this candle here, as it broke below the lows of these candles here. So that's definitely been short from yesterday into the close, and that's continued to track lower and trend lower. So that remains to the downside. Certainly, Aussie Kiwi. Now then, Clement, I need to find out where you are. All these questions are all come crashing in all at once, so bear with me. Harris just saying yes. Faith saying well done to you as well, Faith. Thank you very much. The movement has begun. See the gold mark. Abby saying the gold is more. All right, you speak to one another here, I guess. Yeah, gold buy or sell. Gold. Let's have a look at gold. So somebody saying the gold market's already started to move. Let's have a look. Gold. 1 hour. Yeah, it's moving down. It's under that 17.70, so it's significantly. It's $5 down now, 16.65. Some profit taking going on now. Very choppy here. Looked like that was moving back up before NFP, but post NFP we've got a bit of a stronger or a weaker gold market rather than a stronger dollar. Dollar's been relatively weak, but it's not really. It's airing to the downside here in this 1 hour time frame. But support, intraday support is there at 1763, which has been tested now where the 200 hour is, and the bottom of the Bollinger Band on this 1 hour time frame for gold. Abby, dollar rose, Kempe, euro, pound. What are your thoughts? Well, last time I looked at this in any depth, euro was had moved up significantly against the pound, but the pound seems to have come back to life in the last couple of days, so I haven't really looked at this, to be honest. Kemphy, my friend, a bit slow. Now, right, you've actually asked about. Is that you? Yes, it is. Euro pound on the 4 hour time frame. What are my thoughts? Let's have a look. Euro pound H4. Let's have a look. Right, so we'd rallied. And what happens afterwards is, it's channel bound there. Let me just put on there. Get my period separated. Okay, so that is 26. So that's last week. So right, so we rallied. We've rallied at the beginning of the week, and this is typical with sterling's improved for the rest of the week. So that here on the 4 hour time frame, using this crossing EMA strategy, this crossing moving average system, would have taken you short there on the 30th, and you are still short here on the 4 hour time frame. Interestingly, Kemphy, we've broken below. Can you see the lows there from last week? That floor there, that last week floor there, which set around 90.25. We've breached that. Since when? Since yesterday into the close. So that's weak and got weaker. Can you see what I'm saying? Hopefully you can. See how the support last week was through this floor here. So around here. All of last week we didn't close below 90.25. Okay? And all of a sudden we've had a big burst of buying, a big burst of selling that's taken out all that big burst of buying. Big candles. Remember, the size of the candle body matters, as I say all the time. And here we are, for me, that remains weak. But you know, if I'd been trading this with this strategy, I would have been short from here at 90.81, and here we are at 90.15, and we're still 65 pips to the good, and it's still moving down. Is it going to run out of steam? Nobody knows, but the trend remains to the downside. RSI is still sitting above 30, it's still not oversold. I haven't got any other indicators on here, but that continues to trend lower. The 5 and the 9 moving averages are nicely aligned, and the 20 has just started to move down, so that is trending low. There's no reason to get out of that. It needs to test 90. There may be some key support there. If we go up to the higher time frame, what's the higher time frame telling us? Well, higher time frame still remains relatively well bid to the upside because we're above the 20-day moving average, and the next support is there at the 20 period moving average, which sits at 89.95. So there's a big support zone at 90, the round psychological number 90.00 on .9000, and this 89.95 is the support. So, but moving down, that might be your next target zone for 4-hour traders. But certainly, it's breached the low of last week. And that's the key thing, Kemphy, my friend. Roland asked about Aussie CAD. No time frame, but let's have a look for you, Roland. Aussie CAD. Aussie CAD. Another one that's been in a massive uptrend. 60 odd days, I think it is now, above its 20-day moving average for the Australian dollar against the Canadian dollar. This is the. Let's have a look, show you that. So again, no, hasn't. It's, if you zoom this in, you can see we last closed under the 20-day moving average for the Aussie against the Canadian dollar all the way back here on the 3rd of April. So April, May, June, that has been a trend to eat your heart out about, basically. That's just been going up and up and up. The issue now remains that we can't get over 94.94. See how we zoom this in now. So we rallied up, and we just can't get over 94. We can't close above .9400. So massive rally, hitting this big, thick wall that sits here at the moment. We're way over our 200-day moving average, though, and you'd argue we could be getting overextended. That's interesting. I've just had a headline just pop up here. I think it's from FX Street or somewhere saying very good NFP, but is this as good as it gets? And that was my point earlier, that the week they took this poll was ahead of this new spike. You know, the US administration refusing to say it was a spike or a second wave, but that's what it looks like to me. Throughout, if you drill down into the infection rate, into the county level, over the key 50 per thousand, which the Germans use in particular, it's very extensive across lots of the southern and western counties, western states as well in the United States. So, as Fauci, Dr. Fauci suggested earlier, or prophesied potentially, 100,000 infections per day is not out of the question. We went over 50,000 infections in the United States yesterday, Wednesday, officially. So, things look like they're taking a downturn for that. So this jobs thing might be just a move up, but we'll see. Trade what you see, not what you think. Anyway, Aussie CAD we were talking about, weren't we? Remains to the upside, can't get over 94. A break over 94 will be very powerful because we haven't broken over it. Interestingly, again, like we just looked at that previous chart, I've already forgotten what it was we were talking about, but it doesn't really matter. You can see here, hopefully, Ronald, you can see how today we're above this, the real resistance level. Now, I've talked about the resistance being 94 itself. But you can see today we're at a very strong cut. It's not finished yet, obviously, so wait till it's complete. But we are pushing to the top side of this channel that we've been in. Okay, so this may be the final bout of buying, or it may be the breakout that people have been waiting for. But at the moment, the candle's quite small. It's not a big one, so we'll see if it actually does break that channel. But that remains bid to the upside, Aussie CAD, and it's been over its key 20-day moving average for 61 days now, 62 days I think it is. Luxon, inbox me for a gold strategy. Very good, Luxon. All the very best, my friend. Waiting for a retrace and scalp. Very best of luck. Valentine, Sharon, hello, I'm Sharon from Hadri from Germany. Hope things are all well in Germany. Sharon, And is that all of a sudden the questions have run out? There we go. Hang on a minute. I've jumped ahead far too fast. Hang on a second. Let's have a look. All right. Somebody's talking about. You're obviously talking to one another, are you? Larry's saying Aussie gold is a buy for Larry. Okay, that's very good. Larry's also saying dollar US 100 is a buy, as was massive. It's a big old move. It's certainly old to the upside as we just had a look. Astra TV Africa, hello. How are you? Is gold going for a buy? Well, again, it's all about your time frames, guys. It might be on the daily, it might be a sell on the 1 hour, it might be a sell on the 5 minutes or up on the 50 minutes. Gold remains relatively big to the upside. It's over 1745. It's moved down quite significantly today. Do you want to have another look at gold? I don't know if you were in early, but let's have another look at gold. Everybody likes trading gold or talking about gold. So here we are. We've moved down today. Yesterday, remember, we purchased a new 8-year high. $1,789 was touched yesterday on the gold market for 1 troy ounce of gold. And there we were. Our CFD was up there at 1789. We've come down today, a bit of profit taking you would expect. Technically, we're testing the key 200-hour moving average here at 1763 at the moment. So who knows? And remember, with candles, size matters. So big sell-off there, sideways into sideways through the Asian session, most of the European session. A bit of a retrace. Didn't retrace 50% of that big down candle. That's always a negative sign. And then we've had another leg down now. So will this support hold at 1763? If it doesn't, what happens next? Well, let's go up a time frame. The 4-hour 200 has a bottom of the Bollinger Band there at 1757, below 1763. And the 200-hour, or the 200 period on the 4-hour time frame sits all the way down there at 1735, under the key daily support at 1745. So quite a key movement there. But as you can see here on the 4-hour time frame, it's really chopping sideways within the Bollinger Band. So 4-hour traders, you were looking at 1760 for the floor of the Bollinger Band, around that sort of level, but chopping sideways for 4-hour traders. But the daily remains well bid, having had this new 8-year high yesterday. So there we go. Astra TV Africa. That's my answer to that question. Who's next? Matungo. My opinion on dollar rand is a strong sell. I bought before and locked my profits and went down with it. Care to share? That's a nice phrase. Care to share? Rands, dollar had a very good run against the rand. The rand's come back to life. A lot of the emerging market currencies have come back to life. Now then, where can I find the rand here? Let's have a quick look. There we are. Where's it gone? Where's my rand gone? Never mind. Should we just open the charts? Sometimes easier, isn't it? Open a new chart, especially when you're talking to people live. What am I looking for? Dollar rand. There we are. So let's just put my little template on it. Pick a template, shall we? Let's crossing EMA strategy. There we go. We'll use that one today. So time frame, Matungo. Yeah, that's a nice old trend, isn't it? That's why I love trend following. It looks great in hindsight. But it's actually having the systems and the faith and the ability to just action your plan, basically. But yes, that's very much short there on the 1 hour. Let's go up to the 4 hour. 4 triggered short, significant short as well, as it's turned out. When was that? That was 12 lunchtime yesterday, the 1st of July. That went short for 4-hour traders on dollar rand at 17.25, and that's just continued to move down for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7th. We're into our 7th candle down. There's no sign of that turning around. We're trending lower. RSI's got a little bit overbought. We're down to 29. I haven't got any other indicators on here to give me any advice, but the sudden compression that we had here, see how the Bollinger Bands have compressed here? We dipped in, then we moved up. We dipped in, they're still compressing. Now we've got this bird's mouth, the baby bird's mouth as it opens up here. So the volatility's increased. That's what Bollinger Bands measure really well. So the volatility's increased as we've trended lower really nicely. So the trend has moved down, volatility's increased, the candle size increases, on off we go, and we're off and running. And we're 8 candles into a nice move down on RAND. So I hope you got some of that. Matungo, my friend, you obviously have. This is why you've put that message in there, I would guess. Daily time frame. We moved up quite significantly through April. We had sideways during May, and we started to move down. So on the daily time frame, we have significant support at the 200-day moving average there, which sits at 1635, so a long way down from our highs. But we've capped as well so far at 1745, and you've obviously captured that move down here yesterday and the day before. So the other key thing for me really on the daily time frame is we've moved up. We're in a bit of a congestion zone, but there was a significant candle yesterday. It was a big red one, a big negative one. It closed lower than the low we'd had as we congested for the last couple of weeks. Was certainly much lower than the highs at 1745 we'd had for the last couple of weeks into the end of June, and that's moved down and that's low. So that's looking like that may be moving down, and we closed significantly under the 20-day moving average. It's flat, it's not directional, so we haven't got any trend yet, but as you can see, that was enough yesterday, that big negative candle to tilt the 5 and the 9 moving averages to the downside. So that looks weak. Next support then after that, if that continues to unwind, sits there at 1650, basically just above the bottom of the Bollinger Band and just above that 200-day moving average. So Libello, I hope you got some of that moving clearly there, as I said, and enjoying it, and quite well on that as well. Oh, there's another. Oh, there's some more. Sorry, I didn't see all of what you said. You've care to share? What can I show? Didn't show you. You've actually written more on there. Care to share your opinion or prediction? I don't predict, Libello, my friend. Don't predict. Just see what's happening. Follow your system. Accept your losing trades. Keep them small. The amount you lose, 1 or 2% of your account every time you lose. And let your winning trades take care of themselves, really. Jessica. Dollar yen. Any time frame, Jessica? Let's have a look. Last time we looked, immediately after NFP, the dollar had moved up significantly. The yen had weakened very significantly, hadn't it? So far, hang on a minute. It's a new chart, isn't it? So we should have. Oh, it's on now. Oh, dear me. I'm on the commodities charts. So is it that one I want, market one for you? Oh, slow connection today. Sorry about that, guys. Screen's gone all blank. But dollar yen was moving up, wasn't it? Last time we had a look. See if we can find it somewhere else. Trying that one. Dollar yen here. Dollar yen. So strong hour post NFP for dollar yen. It's broken out of that channel we were in yesterday, this morning. We're over 107.50, but we'd moved into 107.50 yesterday. So where are we yet? The 1 hour candles have just completed. So that's a breakout, sort of confirmed really through there, and even above yesterday's channel there, 107.55, 107.60. So that's moved up. That's a positive move. Out the top of the Bollinger Band. 20 period moving up, the 5 and the 9 both moving up. The 5's crossed over the 9. That were on this strategy here on this 1 hour time frame. That would be a buy position triggering. Initial target would be a multiple of the ATR, which sits at .9099. So we're looking for about another move back to this 108 zone for dollar yen on that time frame, on this 1 hour time frame. So that's a positive post NFP number. Just those of you that, I don't know if you just joined us or you're late, I don't know, but let's just recap the NFP numbers. It was a big beat to the upside. The headline came in at 4.8 million. Expectations were around about 3 million. Last month was also upgraded to 2.7 million. Unemployment came down to 11.1% from 13.3% last time, and 12.3% was the expectation. Interestingly, a number that gets ignored quite a lot is the U6 unemployment rate, and that had spiked over 20% 2 months ago. Last month it was 21.2% again. This time it's come back. It's still hideously high at 18%, but it's much lower than it was expected to come. So the wider U6 unemployment numbers also come back down. The flip side of all the positive news out of the NFP numbers was the weekly claims numbers. The initial claims for last week came in at 1.427 million, so finally under 1.5 million, but yet again, for about the 15th or 16th, I haven't got all the data here in front of me, but for something like that, 15th or 16th week, we have missed expectations, and we're also over 1 million people being made unemployed or claiming unemployment benefit in the United States, initial job claims, as the Americans call it. The continuing claims have also ticked back up. The weekly average, 4 weekly average is now at 19.29 million from 19.23 million last time, and that was expected to slip to 19 million itself. So again, that's a negative number on the downside of things. But really, the market is obviously running ahead with the headline non-farm payroll number of 4.8 million and the unemployment rate coming down to 11.1%, still massively high by historical terms, and earnings also holding up. But there's a big tick up in participation, as I said, but that's lots of potentially poorly paid jobs in the market there. And it's also ahead of this recent activity we had in the last couple of weeks, where we've seen the lockdown openings up of these key economies in the south and the west of the United States moving into close down as well. And we've obviously got this key holiday weekend. The American markets are closed tomorrow. The bond markets are on a very also closed tomorrow. The Independence weekend, 4th of July holiday, where it's expecting lots of social contact when people are supposed to be making social distancing part and parcel of their everyday life. But there we go. Cooper saying, hello everyone, may I please ask about Euro Swiss on the one at daily and 1 hour. Very done, Cooper. You're very good when you ask. You always put the time frame. So Euro Swiss on the daily and the 1 hour. Wacker says some indicators are bullish. I don't know what you're talking about, Wacker. Oh, you're talking about gold. Sell gold and thank me later. I'm your pro trader, Ahmed. Well, very good. I hope you are, sir. So Cooper, Euro Swiss daily and 1 hour. Let's have a look for you, shall we? There we go. So Euro. What happened there? I've lost all mine. All the chats have gone funny. Oh no, because I've got the YouTube channel on, that's why. Oh God, what do I want to talk to that one on? I think it's those three. Where did I get to? Jessica, we've done Euro Yen. Dollar Yen's moving up. Okay, I hope that's answered your question, Dollar Yen. And Euro Swiss was next for my friend. My friend Cooper. Come along. It's very slow today. What's going on? I want to play games today. Where's my Euro gone? Should be here. Anyway, we'll find it here. So, Euro Swiss monthly. We're not interested in monthly. Monthly's, monthly's going down. So we said daily and 1 hour. So Euro Swiss, big floor here, 106.25 this week and last week. We can't close below, so it's bounced off that 106.80. That line is in there from some reason. That was our support from there. Resistance there, support here. And we've breached that to the upside. So daily, Cooper, that's still tracking lower. It's under the 20-day moving average. Probably had a big retrace here on Monday. Tuesday went back down again. Wednesday, Thursday, not quite sure what's doing. So there's clear support here at 106.80. 25 zone, I'd say, there on the daily time frame. It's got down the 4 hour, erring to the downside, but again you see this big support here, so a bit of a double bottom there on the 1 hour. Is that a head and shoulders forming double top there? It's really very much channel bound. It's not trending at all, so these moving averages aren't really great for this sort of movement. That's a very much an oscillators trader pivoting through this sort of 106.50 area, and it's been doing that really since the middle of June as we've moved down. So here on the 4 hour time frame, the key will be your 200 period moving average there at 106.60, and the top of the channel there about 106.85, and at the bottom of the channel we just mentioned at 106.25. So that's your oscillations you've got on Euro Swiss on 4 hour and 1 hour. It's probably just exaggerated that movement, indeed it has. Today we got a rejection of 106.60, that area I just talked about, the 200 hour on the also on the 1 hour there, and that's moving down. So the 1 hour last triggered short for you, but remember we're very much oscillating, so be careful about taking trending trades when the higher time frames are in a range, my friend. Who was next? MHB Swissy file, pound against the dollar against the Swiss. Again, another one that's been moving. Swissy here, Swissy on the 1 hour. Nice one to trade. I like the Swissy. It moves around a lot. Lots of people get scared from it, but as you can see, broke out of this key support at 97 towards the end of May, and we moved down very significantly for June into 95, and now let me just put this, it's not actually on this chart, let me put the 95 level on this chart so it's there next time I come to it, and that's our key new pivot for the Swiss franc. 95 close, okay, close. So there we are. And that's what's been going on for most of the middle of June when we broke out of the channel, moved down, nice trade again. So 94.50, if I zoom this up, here you can see the support here, and we're testing lower, so we'll keep pushing low, and we've gone lower again today. So sell off on Tuesday, we moved down again yesterday, and it's a red candle so far today. MHB 4 hour will be just the same. 4 hour went long there, didn't happen. Short here, that's more than compensated for that long play that didn't happen. Well, it hasn't actually, has it? Because it's moved down, but it's still moving down. So we again tested below that 94.40 level earlier today. So below that comes this level here from the 11th of June, which took us to 93.85, and below 94 as well, so that's still erring to the downside. 1 hour time frame, moved down yesterday and this morning, moved down. We found a floor at the moment, pre NFP, 94.25, and dollars come back against the Swiss post NFP. And again on that 1 hour time frame, although we've still got 50 minutes to go, that's above its 20 period moving average, and looking to perhaps move back into this 94.75 zone from yesterday. So that's ticking up to the upside on the intraday basis. Shakira, what about the pound? What about the pound indeed? The pound is, as we said earlier, has had a good week. Pound against the dollar. Sterling cable has moved to the upside all week. Today, again, another strong day. We've got over 125 this morning. So let's take this day frame. So strong week from the trend, which has moved down. Have we brought this down channel? Maybe, maybe not. We still, on the daily time frame, we remain under the 20-day moving average. So 20, that is now 25.20 basically. We need to break over that for this to move to the upside. Above that would be the 200-day moving average, which sits at 25.86. So that remains relatively weak. However, the lower time frame, it's a 4 hour time frame, as Andrew pointed out to me this morning very nicely, has broken this down channel it was in, cleared 4 hour down channel, suggesting we've broken out. So the 4 hour moved out of that, and as I said earlier, the big candle was this one here, completed at 8 o'clock server time on the 30th of June, and that's continued to trend high. So the 4 hours moving higher, got through the first resistance, which was a 200 period. Now it's over 125. Perhaps run out of steam. See where we go from here, but that's still moving up. The 1 hour. Shakir again has been a strong day, and it's just rolling over now potentially, given the from the NFP roll. So we obviously ran into resistance today, 125.25. NFP's given the dollar a bit of a bid, so it looks like that's moving down now in the shorter time frames. Okay, let's move Shakira to there. Dollar yen, Oliver, dollar yen. We've just done dollar yen, Oliver, haven't we? Yes, we did. Sorry, MHB. I got a lot of profit with your strategy. Very thank you, sir. MH. Well, there you go. That's a comment. I don't normally see comments like that, but thank you, Mr. Or Miss MHB, whoever you are. Yeah, it's not my strategy; it's a strategy, you know. And most strategies, guys, most strategies you find work most of the time. The problem with them is you as a trader. That's whatever the case is. It's all about understanding yourself, managing your emotions, managing your risk, keeping your losses small when you do lose. Most people, unfortunately, have probably more winning trades than losing trades, but they end up losing money because they lose twice. Typically, and I'm not just pulling this number out of the air. This is a big survey that was done a few years ago now, but nothing's changed in trading, either before this or will change after it. Most people end up typically losing twice as much as they win. So when they have a losing trade, they might lose $2 for every $1 they win when they have a winning trade, and that is just human psychology, and that is what you're fighting against. Not the market, not Mr. Trump, not the ECB, not whatever it is you're trading. It's you. It's your psychology. It's your risk profile, and that is what you need to manage time and time again. Anyway. MHP, thank you for your very kind comments. I do appreciate that, and the very best of luck. Arif, damn, I was saved on. I don't understand what that means. I was saved on an Aussie dollar buy, says Asif. Does that mean you missed it? Is that what that face means? The fear you've missed a trade because you thought, well, the issue is, is it still valid? I mean, that's the other thing with NFP. Everybody gets very excited about NFP because of the volatility. It moves all around a lot. Look, so here, I can't remember what chart. This is the pound 5-minute chart. So, very exaggerated moves on these time frames. But again, if you're using this same strategy, it's very choppy. But at the moment, you'd have gone long in the last 15 minutes. Short in the last 15 minutes, and you'd have been long. And that's the thing with trading the shorter time frames. You're constantly chopping and changing. But at the moment, you're in the money as that's triggered short for you, and it's continuing to move down. So all about time frames, all about you, all about managing your risk all the time. Kempy, we did this, haven't we done the round on the 4 hour? I think we did, didn't we? I think I'm seeing things again. Or did we? I think we did. Abby, is it safe for small account traders to trade NFP? Abby, I can't tell you what to do, and I can't give you any advice. I'm not allowed to. That's the nature of the market. But you've got to whatever you're trading, whatever time frame, whatever asset, you've got to understand yourself, NFP, and understand the market. So if you understand spread, you understand margin, you understand the leverage on your account, you understand how that can be both positive and negative for you, that's great. That's what you need to do before you risk any of your real money. NFP can be highly volatile, so we can have these massive moves, or relative massive moves. They look like massive moves here on the 5-hour time, on the 5-minute time frame, because obviously the more compressed the time frame, the more exaggerated the move might be. But in pip terms or in point terms, it can be lost. Tomorrow, will you be able to tell on the daily time frame when NFP took place? On the 4-hour time frame, or the 1-hour time frame. By Tuesday next week, will you be able to tell that Thursday was an NFP day? Possibly not. Quite often not. So it's all about perception. It's all about time frames. But the biggest thing in trading is yourself and your risk management and your risk profile. Okay, that's all I'll say on that when it comes to small account sizes. Abby, my friend. I'm seeing these questions again. Gold might be bullish, but it dipped a bit. It certainly did. where am I? I've lost track. I think I've gone back too far. Euro Oz. Sorry, can't speak. Don't apologise for that. Stephen's asking, what about silver? What about silver indeed? I haven't looked at silver for a long time. Let's have a look at silver, says Stephen. So, silver. Again, consolidating at highs, I think would be the phrase you'd use on that one, Stephen. So we need to break, which we've tested this week, we need to break this 1820 level. This is obviously been set from a while ago, unless Andrew's used this platform as well, but it's consolidating at highs, which tends to be positive. And again, we'll move to the upside, but we'll see. And again, it's over its 20-day moving average, although the 20-day moving average is flat. The big candles are here at this end of the chart, having been at this end of the chart. So, I'd like to see a strong close over 1820 through this key Fibonacci level, which is not sure where that's come from. It's that. I don't know I don't know if that's relevant anymore. To be honest, that Fibonacci. Let's take that off. Delete. Doesn't make sense anymore. So let's close that. Let's get rid of those trend lines. What a messy chart. This looks like one of my charts that I haven't looked at for a while, with loads of stuff on that's not relevant anymore. And that's the thing as well. Support and resistance levels, key levels. They're there to be broken. They're there to be tested, and that goes on from time to time. So make sure you keep your charts up to date. So the weekly gold silver chart is positive. Very positive, and it has been since this big candle here in the middle of May. So it's been a positive silver chart, but again wants to get over 1820 there, the weekly. Daily, similar thing, we're bouncing into this 1820. We tested it here, couldn't break it. We tested it yesterday or Monday, we couldn't break it, and we've moved down today. That was Tuesday, not Monday, sorry. Thursday. So support here on the daily time frame is that 200-day, 20-day moving average there at 1765. The 4-hour tested at over 1820 yesterday and the day before. It's moved back down again. That's gone short here. Silver went short on the 4-hour time frame this morning at 5 o'clock, and it's moving down on that particular strategy. 1776 is the first area was already being tested. And the 1-hour time frame went short there at 2 o'clock. When was that? Yesterday afternoon, and it's continued to track lower ever since. Interestingly, it's broken under the 200-hour moving average in the last hour as well. Again, a sign that perhaps the dollar has ticked up against these commodities. So that's my call on silver, Stephen. Dot the 5. Oh, I don't know what that means. You want? Does the euro dollar stand a chance to double top on 13.50? There's always a chance of everything, Vincent. That's the thing with trading, and it depends on your time frame again and your perception of the markets and what have you, and your understanding. But yes, everything's possible. So let's have a look at what you were talking about. 13. What you say? Does the euro dollar stand a chance to double top at 13.50? Let's have a look. I'm just using this euro 1 hour 13.50. Let's have a look at the daily time frame. What are we talking about? That's certainly a possibility. Where's that? That's at 14. I don't know what time frame you're talking about. 13. Where are we talking? 13, 50, 13.50. I see what you're saying. Well, some would argue, Vincent, this is the 4-hour time frame. Again, I don't know what time frame you're talking about, but that has already done that. You would argue here on the 4-hour, you'd say that is trending lower still because the highs have got lower. See here, highs have got lower, the lows got lower, but now the lows have started to tick up a bit. Okay, so there may be a bit of a triangle forming, and we need to burst out of that triangle with some clear direction. But 13, the rally 13. Where's your 13.50? Your 13.50 is sort of here, isn't it? Maybe triple top. Maybe that'd be perhaps weaker. 4-hour. Difficult to call that at the moment. But certainly these low time frames is ticking lower. Daily. See, daily, as I said, it's sort of compressing. Daily euro dollar. 12. 1.12 floor, but doesn't want to move up. So again, that's sort of still trending down from this volatility, from this big leg up we've had into 1400, but that's starting to move down now through June and into July. But 12 is our floor, or 1175 is the floor, and that's moving down. So 1350 is a bit of a stretch from there, Vincent, I'd say at the moment. Jessica, yes, any time frame. All right, that was Jessica on what we were for. FX Progress, that's a nice handle. What's about the NFP result? Have you just joined us? What time is it? 16. Yes, you just joined us. 16 quarter past about 5 minutes ago. The NFP result, my friend, was relatively positive overall, but there was also the weekly jobs claim as well. Let me just recap it for you. The headline figure came in at 4.8 million. The market was expecting about 3 million, so it's a big beat. It's a significant beat, obviously not as big as last month. The previous month was also upgraded higher to 2.7 million as well, so it's very positive. The unemployment rate also beat expectations. It came down to 11.1%. It was expected to hold over 12% to 12.3%. It was 13.3% last month, and it capped as high as 14.75% in April. So that's a positive number as well. On the negative side of things, the weekly unemployment claims also missed missed expectations for about the 15th, 16th consecutive week. It's a long time. It came in at 1.427 million. So finally it's under 1.5 million, but it was expected to come in at 1.35 million. So again, it's missed expectations, and last month's was also revised to the upside as well. The claims went to only by 2,000, but it was still revised to the upside. So that's a negative hang on the positive NFP numbers. The other stuff is more or less in line. The earnings were up again, or come down to 5%. The weekly, yearly on hourly earnings. And the higher unemployment rate was also better than expected, 18%, the U6 level. But the headlines were much better at 4.8 million, and the unemployment rate is much better at 11.1 million as well. So that's the recap of the NFP numbers. So I'm seeing, right, okay, I see what I'm doing now, right, okay. So that's the NFP result, FX Progress, my friend. Thanks so much for it. Has changed my trading game, best broker ever. Kempy, hello, thank you for that, sir. All the very best, my friend. We're here to help. Questions are drying up, so I guess you've all had enough of listening to the old guy dribble on. Let me just check the other channels. Let me just check our Hot Forex channel. Kasky's asking about the USA 100. Well, that was, if we were on earlier, it was definitely want to change. It was very much on the bid today. The USA, here we are, USA 100 on the 1 hour time frame. Here we are, Tony, my friend. Bid to the upside, and it continues to move over 10,385, moving up, trending higher, broke higher. Over this triggered long here. When was this? This is yesterday afternoon at 4 o'clock, and it's continued to move up. So that's just follow the trend, trail your stop loss up. So your stop loss now, we've gone up there. Your stop loss is probably around about here now. Depends how aggressive you want to be. Either 2, 3, 5 candles behind, lows to the low. So sort of around there to 10, 3, 15, as that's trending higher on that 1 hour time frame. Little CCI, nice little oscillator here, suggesting we're into our overbought zone, so be careful there. RSI is also at 78, also in its overbought zone, but it's been overbought all the time. It's been going up here at RSI, so just be careful. But it's had a strong day yesterday. It's helped the Nasdaq in particular by a very strong move by Amazon yesterday. It was up 4.35% in the cash market yesterday. Concordia upgraded their expectations for the stock to 3,300. They're currently trading at 2,780, I think. Amazon. That's when it closed yesterday.
So that's our Facebook page. Let's have a look. Loads of questions here on our YouTube channel. Very good. Let's have a look. Any more questions here? Kempy's saying thank you. Vincent's saying thank you. That's no problem, sir. Clement's saying thank you. Really appreciate. I really appreciate your time, guys. You know, time there's only so much time in the day. So there we go. Right, no more questions. I've been blathering on for best part of an hour, so I'll call it a day now. I've got some stuff still to do. I've got some stuff to write for the third quarter. I haven't finished. I need to do that. That's I'll be getting shouted at later on. So take care, everyone. Hope you are well and you have a safe rest of the trading day. If you're celebrating Independence Day for the Americans or in America, have a great weekend. If not, stay safe. This pandemic is far from over, ladies and gentlemen. I'm sure you're well aware. So all the best, and we shall see you soon. Now then, where's my... switch that off. Where's my...